Well, look at this. It's a Monday. So I don't know what you did over the weekend, but if you have a mother, you probably spent Sunday with your mother, unless, of course, you, unless, of course, you are Eric Lindquist, who blocked his mother on Twitter, allegedly.
Yeah, because it was my mother. That's who it was, right? Not somebody who's impersonating my mother with a creepy picture on Twitter doing weird stuff that I just...
The picture isn't even accurate.
No, it's not. It's the creepiest thing I've ever seen. And somebody needs to get
me looks closer to your mom than that picture on Twitter.
Yeah, that looked like... it looked like the combination of 3 different female professors from Hogwarts, and not in a good way. It was like the... What is her name? The one who's the really high-pitched voice, the creepy one from... Or 5, 6, 7. She's a Death Eater. Can't remember her name off the top of my head. That's who that picture looks like, and it creeps me out every time I see it.
Yeah, it's utterly disgusting.
Yep.
Look, I don't want to waste a ton of time because people are trickling in here, but we put it out on the Discord, and this is just another reason why you should be hanging with myself, Lindy, Raza, Isaiah. If we get a run in the first inning of this game that's just about to start, the Mets-Nats, somebody on the Discord who is also watching now, right? That's the only thing, is we needed you from the Discord to here, is going to win that $50 ticket. Not bad. Not bad. We just need a run.
Shabby.
That's it.
Not too shabby.
A live sweat, Eric.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm on the over of this game, so if that counts for anything.
Sure. Look,
you don't care.
I don't care in the sense of I just want to run. Do you want me to lie to you and tell you that, oh, man, you know what? I can't wait for this game to go over. I'm focused on one thing, all right?
PhilipRivers.gif. PhilipRivers.gif.
What'd you do over Mother's Day? Anything fun?
No, absolutely nothing. I talked to my mother. Actually got a refunded gift, which was fantastic. The flower delivery place sent my mom the wrong flowers. And so they sent like a smaller batch than they were supposed to. And they're like, she can keep those, but we can resend them, but we can't send them till Monday. Okay. I was like, well, that's a waste. Okay. And so I took all the money that I spent on that and I sent it to my mom so she could go to the casino last night. Okay. So she went to the casino last night and won $80 playing slots. Good for her.
Good for you. Nice.
Yeah. That's that. How do you know she's my mother? There you go. Right there in one story.
PrizePicks card too for tonight?
Yeah. So she does love herself some PrizePicks. That's for sure.
That's great. Well, look, I've used my mom in Connecticut, or my dad in Massachusetts, as allegedly as a proxy for PrizePicks, being in a state that I can't legally play. But that's not for here. That's not for there. What is, I'm not going to be able to talk about anything moving forward until we have a conversation. And let me just put it like this. I remember as a child being a fan of the genre that had a guy named Steven Seagal in it, right? And that was an ass-kicking karate type, although he was more Aikido, right? But whatever, that was the type of genre. And I remember going to the movie theater, Eric Lindquist, to see this movie with Kurt Russell and Steven Seagal called Executive Decision. And I'm in there and we sit down, me and my buddies, this is kids, pre-drugs, pre-all that. We're just playing sports, being happy, right? All right, let's go to the movie. Steven Seagal gets ejected from the plane 38 seconds into the movie. And it's like, wait a second. Did the guy in which we come to see just die? That was the second half for the Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid was ejected from that plane faster than Steven Seagal said, you tell me, or whatever the hell he said on his way to his death in that movie. It was painful. I need everybody fired, and I'm really upset today. Okay? That's all. I just had to say that.
I loved it. I did not love it from a betting perspective. I lost on that one. Philly had been really good to me throughout that series, though. I'm not going to complain. Between some money line plays, some plus money, getting some points in some spots and having some conversions there, it had the makings of a really good series. Game 7. It was very anticlimactic at the end. I feel bad for you as much as I can feel bad for a person who's a Philadelphia sports fan. So that's saying something, but I want to talk about the general lack of self-awareness by Joel Embiid in the post-game conference. What, buddy? You scored 15 I don't know if you saw the best player on the Celtics. The best player on the Celtics showed up.
He did.
Where were you? And talking about you need other people to show up. Jason Tatum didn't say, you know what? Game 6, I didn't play very well. I need other people to show up. He just found a way to get it done in the fourth quarter there, and then just set a nuke off there in Boston. It was that was a butt kicking. That was a butt kicking.
You know what's crazy about his point? And he didn't mean this because it was completely in the way in which you interpret it, and absolutely right. So I have to add context to it, but he's right. He did need, like, that's a glaring indictment of a guy who won the regular season MVP, that he did need other people to step up. And again, look, who knows what happens with Jokic? This looks like Jamal Murray as far as bubble Murray, and that's going to be a huge advantage. Joel did not have that. And we know that you can't do it one guy, but you say that after you drop 50 and you grab 18 rebounds and you have 6 assists that probably could have been 10, but guys miss shots, etc. You don't do that when you disappear.
Yep.
He won the MVP and he disappeared.
Yep. There were multiple moments throughout that series where the Sixers are drawing dead without James Harden, and James Harden played better than Joel Embiid. And here's the thing, too. I understand he's injured. I understand that there's an issue with his knee to a certain extent, but you can't look that lethargic and uninterested. There were so many times he just didn't hustle. And, like, if you're going to be on the floor, I understand you're 7-1. You're still going to block shots. You're still going to put up a couple. You're still going to be decent. But, like, there was nothing MVP about his play.
No. James Harden, like, this is going to be a massive exodus here, right? Or mass exodus. You're going to see Doc Rivers out. Like, here's another thing, too. All right, before we talk about the tool and everything else, how does Doc Rivers continue to work? The deal, like, the whole idea about hiring a head coach is that head coach can win a championship. What on Doc Rivers' resume as of recent, meaning since 2008, would indicate that he has any grasp on this game to the point at which you would hire him? Like, I guarantee you, Eric, every single person who goes up against Doc Rivers in an interview is more qualified. Every single individual, every one of them.
Agreed.
Oh,
maybe not JJ Redick, but also JJ Redick would be an amazing NBA coach. So it's a different conversation.
No. JJ Redick's the lone exception. All right, I stand corrected.
Yep.
I'd rather have Doc.
He's the only one. I would rather have JJ Redick.
Seriously, I don't want any. No. By the way, is this true?
Stop
91 it. LSX. I always get your name wrong, and you have been with me forever, my friend. So 91L. I apologize. They're making an Under Siege Part 4 with Melissa McCarthy and John Leguizamo. Are you serious? Can we have some sort of confirmation on this?
That doesn't sound ideal.
Top first, one out. Lindor just hit a sinker. Did that? Oh, he flied out. Son of a gun. All right, we're okay. We're okay. Here comes Pete. Here comes Pete the Heat with the man on first, one out. All right.
Yeah. And Patrick Corbin pitching.
Well, that's what I mean. Alonso has just destroyed
double play.
Corbin lifetime.
Double play.
Beautiful. Just because. All I tried to do was give away money, and this is what happened. All right. Let's hit it, man. No NBA today. But
weird.
But do you want to? All right. So do you want to look at? Because I did see something pop. There are a couple of plays that are popping up for Tuesday. Did you look at anything ahead of time? Because I have a couple of early plays for Tuesday's game that I tried to get in now. Did you look at any?
I did. I've looked at everything big time. I'm going to be recording a video about half an hour after we get done with this, doing NBA Lindy's and talking through a couple. I actually have a series bet too. I have a series bet.
Well, let's start there because actually, I tell you what, hold off on that if you can, just real quick. Hold off on that. The reason is because we've got 4, 5, 6, 8. We've got a bunch of plays. We've got 11 plays right now that we have that are plus EV on our board for the OddsShopper premium tool. And again, you're going to get the week free. We tell you all that. You could sign up and be using this with us. The parlay video of the day, the OddsShopper video, all of the things that are happening, screenshots, testimonials. It's all live. Just like the Nats now are going to have to do some heavy lifting against Peterson, right? Peterson. Let's look at this.
Terrible too.
Oh my God. No, that's Norm Peterson. The Chicago PD. Oh, no, fire department, right? So we've got a bunch. Jokic under 1.5 threes. Jokic over the PRA. Those are the big ones. D'Lo under 5.5 assists. And you also have a couple of second quarter, which, you know me, I can't help myself. First half total, though, I like this. This is still marginally plus EV. First half total under 114.5 on FanDuel. That's beating every other book. And this just happened last night where I caught the 10 on that over and that baseball and Sunday Night Baseball. Thanks to OddsShopper, I went over 10. Everybody else lost because they went 10.5.
Oh, I took 10.
There you go. Smart man.
Yeah. So we pushed.
All right. So what do you...
And I had over on both base. Well, I had half a unit on both plus money bases with Devers and with Verdugo. That cashed pretty easily, and then just couldn't get anything else across. I had small play like quarter unit, Duran, and a couple of other pieces, but I thought that game was going to go nuts. Right. It was wild to cash both of them on the Boston side because they put up one run. It was wild. It was wild.
Nats
0 Ks for Miles Michaelis in 6 innings. Normal stuff.
I would just open up with a double. Look at this. Okay. Garcia.
For it.
How about that? All right. How about that? Thomas with a leadoff double. Garcia already taking a ball. Peterson is rattled. That's what we need. Again, if you're out there, you're either riding for this 50 or you've already put this thing down. Mr. Gerg. Love it. People paying attention to this thing. See, we needed something live here. No NBA.
I'm so here for the sweat.
Jokic. Over 51.5 PRA. That's a big one. Under 1.5 threes is another one. AD over 22.5 points.
You want to talk about this series a little bit? Because I think it's
going to be
That's what fascinating. I'm into. What do you think? So 51.5, we prevailing 53.5 is basically where it was against the corpse of DeAndre Ayton and Jock Landale for the last series. I'm very curious to see how the Lakers adjust to some of the things that they did that were effective, or that Golden State did against them that was effective. Mainly, if Golden State had knocked down shots, you would have ran into a little bit more competitive series. I was still on the Lakers, so I don't care. But I think Nikola Jokic is going to be playing further away from the basket than what we might be thinking. I don't know. Anthony Davis, a little bit lengthier. DeAndre Ayton, pretty flat-footed there defensively on the perimeter. It's going to be a fascinating matchup. 51.5 is a huge number, but I think the big thing there on why I do lean on the over there is the minus 104. I think it's just looking at the odds, 52% expected win percentage. You know, it's close to that coin flip type situation, but minus 104 inside of standard juice. I'm okay with it at 51.5 just because Jokic is playing at a sublime level. We don't know what to expect for what they're going to try to create matchup-wise, and I got to think he's going to have to distribute a little bit more than we saw in a couple of games in those first two series where Jokic would put up 40+. Now, you had a couple of nukes where he triple-doubled the last couple, but I think Jokic, from a points perspective, this Anthony Davis matchup is no joke.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem, I think, defensively for Jokic, where he may look like Embiid going up Jason Tatum yesterday. I mean, seriously, if you just closed your eyes and you listen to the play-by-play, it would be everything stereotypically put on the shoulders of Nikola Jokic. Like, why the hell is that guy even out there in the first place? But to your point, it's going to take a lot, I think, and maybe that is a factor in this series. Speaking of which, so that would lead you into the points with AD. Cash it. Look at that.
Okay.
Look at that. Let's go. See, we're helping people, Eric Lindquist. Somebody just made $50 for hanging with us on the Discord.
Let's freaking go.
Now let's get the over. All right. Now I'm on your side. I'm
your fees. Your fees.
Oh man. Do you like the points for AD on the road? I don't know if I want to play. I know this sounds crazy.
22.5. Yeah, I do. I definitely do.
It's a low number, man.
It's low. I don't understand it. Right now, he's my lock for Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks for tomorrow. So if you guys want to just, don't skip out on watching the video. You love me, right? Right?
Who?
But either way, Anthony Davis, 22.5 points is such a smash. Prevailing number being 24.5 the last couple. I understand on the road, you look at some of the implied numbers that we have for this game. And I think it makes sense that that's where they set the line at, but I think it's kind of broken. And I think the Lakers are going to be far more competitive. I have them in the like section. I'm on Lakers once again. I think they have enough pieces. And I think the most important matchup for me, I was talking about this with my best friend, Dennis Schroeder. He's a diehard Lakers fan, by the way, so good for him. But Dennis Schroeder versus Jamal Murray. I think that's the entire series. Dennis Schroeder was so effective against Klay Thompson and against Steph Curry on ball defense. You saw him inserted into that starting unit. Jamal Murray, I know he was sick at times. I know he's been playing a lot more minutes, but like he's now playing a ton of time that we didn't see throughout that regular season. Another 6-7 game series being hounded by Dennis Schroeder, who's pretty fresh, who didn't have to play as many minutes in the regular season and was right around 29 per game. I love this matchup for the Lakers. I think the Lakers are going to be able to get after Murray. And I think that between him, Reeves, they provide enough on the offensive end, can create enough that I'm all about them on this series.
It's a good one, man. And that's your series take, I imagine, right? Are you laying a game? Or are you just working the money line? What are you working with?
So the series play that I have is actually from the Boston series. I'm going Boston, Miami. I think you can either go Jason Tatum. Minus 180 was kind of the best number that you could find for him to win Eastern Conference MVP for the conference championship. Or you take Jimmy Butler on the other side. Like, I can't imagine a scenario, period, unless one gets hurt, where they don't win the MVP, right?
Yeah. Like, there's nobody on Miami that can win the... Bam would be the only person. Like Max.
No, but how would he do that and they win the series?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, talking this through, Max Strus isn't going to have enough games to do it. Gabe Vincent isn't going to have enough games to do it. They don't have Tyler Hero. The only person would be, and I'm putting this out, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm talking it through. Bam. I mean, you get double doubles from Bam in 5 of the 6 games in which they win. And Jimmy Butler is not dominant in 2 of those. I think you have an argument. That's all. But he could be the only pathway to that. But think about what I said, which probably and is a long way of furthering the point you made initially. Lakers in 6?
Lakers in 6.
Let's bet it.
I'm very here for it. I think they sneak 1. I think it's pretty much the exact same template that we saw against them against Golden State. I think they sneak 1 of the first 2.
Yeah.
They probably have one game that gets really lopsided. Either they get blown out of the gym or do the inverse. And then they go back to LA and they handle business. Like, it just seems as though they're going to be effective at home. 3-1, they'll go back. I mean, that's exactly what happened in Memphis, exactly what happened with Golden State, where they're playing a game 5 on the road to close out a series. Haven't been that effective closing it out in that game 6 or in that game 5, but that game 6, they have been lethal because, well, other teams are playing everybody 44, 46 minutes to ensure a win, whereas they kind of are, able to just kind of play from ahead. And they've been good front runners. They've been really good front runners.
All right, Vivian Noah, help with NBA picks, please. Let's just run this back real quick.
Okay.
Over 51.5 PRA for Jokic, over 22.5 points for Anthony Davis. Let's give 2 more D'Lo assists. You don't have to play it. It's at minus 140. What you could do is you could same game parlay D'Angelo Russell under 5.5 rebounds with Jokic under 1.5 threes. If you do like that, we actually have some pretty decent wiggle room against the market there with that point spread play at minus 210, especially because you're laying upwards to 220 on DK. And then it even gets more astronomical when you start to look at some of these books. Caesars 256. I mean, that is criminal right there when you could lay 210 elsewhere. With that said, that could be an option. If you do like both of these and you're thinking, I don't want to lay 210 on a single play. I don't have Eric Lindquist type unit size. So let me shrink this sucker down. Like that vacuum thing.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
I drink it up.
See, I have the straw and it reaches all the way over here.
All right. We got to get D'Lo and Jokic threes. Are you in on that same game parlay?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
You're the single game parlay genius, and I'm just going to follow you into the dark because every time I add something, ever since Anthony Edwards, ever since I add something, it's just like You're my human ATM, but the opposite. I just can't freaking hit one of these. I don't know what happened.
Chase Nicholas, AD shows up without a doubt. Lakers take it. That would be it. That would be the big key right there. All right, let's hit a couple of promos, including where we can begin, my friend. No NBA today, but guess what? We have the PGA Championship this week, and it's never too early, right? Never too early to talk some golf. I think that you have a cool chance here on, I think it's DK, right? As far as boosting some odds. Now, this sucker's up in Rochester. Are you familiar with the Rochester?
Yeah, so I believe the Mormon prophet Joseph Smith came from Rochester, New York.
Well, you have to
Mormon
sound like
was created
from
there.
Chicago. That's how they sound. It's that dialect. I don't know how, but that dialect has stretched east. So this is how they sound up there in Rochester, where you go up there and eat a garbage plate and this other stuff up there. Doesn't that sound like Chicago more so, like that?
Does
Midwest?
a little bit.
Yeah,
it does have a little bit of that flavor to it. It's except for in Minnesota, it's more like let's go put the snowshoes on and let's go to the local pub and go have a pint together. Yeah.
Yeah, right. You have that, which is like quasi-Canadian / Scottish, where it's like ending on a high note. Have you ever had a garbage plate?
No, never.
So it's minced hamburger with diced hot dogs on top of macaroni salad.
The hell are you making? What is
hold on,
this?
Macaroni salad, French fries, sometimes beans, and then it's diced onions and mustard is usually put on that. That's called a garbage plate. That's what Rochester, New York. That's what they're famous for up there. That's what it's called.
Unreal.
Look, this is it. We'll give out the 50 before we get out. Trust me. This is the meal of champions up in Rochester, New York. And now you can boost up on DK. So who you boosting, pal? Inhale a garbage plate. It is something from, I'm telling you, it is.
I'm nauseous even thinking about it.
It is famous.
Good God. I remember a heart attack on a stick or on a plate.
You can't be stoned enough to eat this thing. I promise. I've tried. Trust me, I've tried. You cannot have enough THC in your body to go in and eat this thing.
Yeah.
At some point, you look down and you're like, come on, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I mean,
where are you going to go boost? What are you going to boost today?
Well, big rule of thumb, and I'll shout out Raza for this, is if you're going to boost somebody, make sure you're boosting it to a better number around.
Correct.
So I don't have everything in front of me all over the place. I would say that make sure you check other books to see if your boost actually boosts. So looking at this, like the favorite guy that I have across the board that I think I would bet. You're going to hate me for this.
I'm ready.
But
I already hate you.
I'm going to flip a coin between Hovland and Hideki.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Hideki Matsuyama is playing good golf. He's healthy. Seems to be fine with the neck. He's been almost forgotten. Not to say like people don't know who he is, but you know how this game is. You played this game at a high level. If you're not out there playing, even Rory, like forget the guys on the live, it's easy to kind of fade. And I think people are not really caught up on how healthy Decky is. So I like him at 50-1, shop that. And then I'll take a shot on Hovland, who is surprisingly good when it comes to putting on bent grass.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's interesting because I'm pulling up DK Sportsbook. That's where the boost is.
Correct.
Right. And I think there's a number of spots in this 25 3K. My card started with Tony Finau this week.
Yeah, good one.
25-1. I don't know how you don't like this golf course for him. Par 70, 7,400. Distance, putter has been great. But I think the big thing that's going underappreciated about Tony Finau's golf game so far this spring, his irons have been off the charts good. And it's really been since last fall. Like we saw that 3M Rocket Mortgage, absolute garbage golf tournaments and relative to the field. I hope he gained 7.9 and 5-point strokes game with the approach, but it's carried over into every single golf tournament in the spring. He seems locked into, he travels with his family now. We saw that at the Mexico Open. He ends up caddying for his kids, playing the par 3 course after he gets done winning. He just seems kind of locked in right now. And the Wells Fargo wasn't really indicative of the putting we've seen from time to time. And you do need that spike putting from him, but you could say that about so many other top players. You know the ball striking's there, and the irons, I've just never seen them that good, period. So give me a guy who hits it a mile on a very long golf course, and one that's going to be set up awfully difficult for everybody else that, his irons have been the best in the world over the course of the last 4 months.
All right, I like it. Finau is a great boost because you're not going to find him. Again, if you shop the number and 25-1 already makes sense, or that boost puts him over, you're not going to find that number anywhere else. Like,
no,
I can't imagine that you're getting that 28-1 for Finau after the boost. And then you put him up in Hovland and JT category. All right, good stuff. Yep, good stuff. Now we've got some other ones here. Are you playing any hockey tonight?
No. God, no.
Hockey. Do kind of like, I'm tempted. That's part of the community parlay. We have 30 votes in this. And right now, the Dallas Stars money line at -190. So that means that either Eric or myself are going to have to do some heavy lifting and give you like a +150 leg just to balance out the selfishness by the. No wonder why the community hits every freaking leg, Lindy, because they're laying down -2-1. This is like your Discord chat. Are they going to martingale this if they lose after today?
My God. You guys, hey, tricks of the trade. It's the same people. This is what we've kind of decided. It's the same people who go on Twitter and they're like, here's my record. I'm a winning bettor. I am 55-35. I'd freaking hope so when you're taking the Atlanta money line every night, the Toronto against Detroit money line, when you're going to the NBA streets and it's like, oh, I'm going to take Boston on the money line. No shit, you have a winning record. Congratulations. Here's your cookie. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's the biggest, most overhyped, ridiculous thing in the history of sports betting, and I'm so tired of it.
And rant. Finn.
No, you had your Sixers rant. That's my rant.
No,
records are stupid. Hey, Eric, can you post your record to your Discord? No, because literally a home run prop that's +350 or higher, if I have 3 of those, if I hit 1 of 3, I'm profitable on the day.
Correct.
1 of 3, 33%. And that's going to go against my record? Are you joking me? You have to be kidding me.
What's more meaningless? Your win-loss record in betting, or your win-loss record as a pitcher, or your win-loss record as a quarterback?
Ooh, that's actually interesting. So quarterback, it really matters. So that's easily number 1 of the 3.
Okay. Hold on a second. To your point, in my opinion, and I don't know about DFS like you do, but in my opinion, the only valid argument about a win-loss quarterback record is betting. I think if it's like you and I just shooting shit, a quarterback's win-loss record doesn't really determine legacy, all-time stuff like that. But it certainly should indicate and warrant whether or not you're putting money on that guy to cover a spread. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, it does. I think there's a correlation also that people don't really look at with number of games played and winning record as a quarterback. Because if you keep playing the position, you have obviously some kind of sustained success over multiple seasons with different schemes, different coaches, offensive coordinators leaving your system. You have different offensive linemen. You have other pieces like Tom Brady, undisputably. Again, he had a career that lasted 2 decades, basically, in the NFL with an insane win record. It is impossible not to say that that doesn't matter. But you could talk about Ben DiNucci, who was with the Cowboys, and he obviously had an incredible defense with the Dallas Cowboys there. There's not a sample size there. And the main reason is that he's not all that good compared to the average NFL quarterback. So there's some really loud noise when you're talking about certain specific things there. So I think there's a strong correlation between number of games played and win percentage when it comes to playing the quarterback position.
Yeah, I think, look at a guy like Daniel Jones, who I think is a little more nuanced than the 2 examples you gave, right?
Yep.
Which is fine, because I think you set great parameters up there. Daniel Jones is a guy who, even through last year, win-loss record would indicate that he is absolute horrific dog shit. Win-loss record, ATS, especially on the road.
I was going to say, win-loss record, he was a winning quarterback last year.
Last year, right. But I'm saying still body of work. Like overall, I meant, sorry, as far as overall, including last year, didn't bump him up. But we know ATS, this guy ATS on the road, you want to bet him, especially when they were dog shit, because you never know. He could run, he could get you back in the game. So that's why I say, like, there's nuance there. Win-loss as a pitcher, I mean, come on.
Doesn't matter.
That's atrocious.
Well, because you can't hit for yourself unless you're Ohtani. He's the only person who counts towards, he has an effect on his own lineup.
But even
whereas
still,
no pitcher affects their lineup. So if you have a really good lineup, I'm trying to think of who it is that's 3-0. There was somebody that I saw a couple of days ago. Again, all I do is stare at baseball numbers all day long. But there was somebody that was 3-0 with like a 5.9 ERA. I can't remember who it was. But it was one of those things that just jumped out to me where it's like, that is hilarious that he's 3-0 with a 5.9 ERA. Now, neither of those numbers are all that indicative of if you're a good pitcher or not. They can be very, very loud. But, I mean, that just kind of speaks to it. It's like you pitch for the Dodgers or you pitch for the Yankees, you're going to run into guys like that.
What's the most famous Chicago accent in a movie or TV show? No, TV doesn't count.
What a weird one that came to my head was Road to Perdition, but
oh, who was it? Dennis Farina?
So no, it was Tom Hanks with
no, I know, but
Tom Hanks, and then Jude Law played the serial killer in that one, the guy who does the hitman for Al Capone and everything, and then they go to the lake and yada yada.
Okay. But who has the Chicago accent? Is it
the bad guy, the one who's the son of the main mobster who is like going out and targeting him? He's got the Chicago accent, but I mean, that's the first one movie wise that I thought of, just because it's purely all Chicago.
No, the guy who played Michael Sullivan.
It's a big actor. Road to Perdition.
It's got to be.
This is why God invented Google.
I'm looking at it right now. Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig was also another guy in that one, which is fantastic. But yeah, Tyler Hoechlin is the guy I'm thinking of.
That's what I mentioned. Yes,
yeah.
Tyler Hoechlin.
Yep.
More famous than Dennis Farina in that Striking Distance Bruce Willis movie. I mean, you had the entire Chicago PDs out there, looking for Bruce Willis.
Well, that's a pretty good
What about
one.
the guys? What about the guys from The Fugitive? That's like thick. Like they pulled those guys out of Wrigley Field.
Sure did. Like straight from the bleachers with the snake, with the beer snake. Yeah.
Oh my God! You want to build a parlay here? Baseball.
I like parlays. Also, I just wanted to throw out one more golf pick for the people.
Yes.
KH Lee, long dart. Let's go.
Not bad. What's the number on that? 150 to 1?
It is. I'll find exactly where it landed earlier. I haven't clicked the button to bet it yet, but I can promise you he's going to be a big part of my DFS portfolio. He's going to be a big part of my portfolio overall here. There's so many leads right now. I'm trying to go through OddsShopper here.
Oh, by the way, I found a couple and it's centered around Wednesday. I think I'm going to jump in on this. I see movement coming and I want to be ahead of it.
Okay.
All right. Jimmy Butler, 2 plays for Jimmy Butler. First, under 5.5 assists. That's at plus 106 right now. Some books have already moved. Actually, every other book. Now, granted, it's still plus money at other books, but every other book has moved to 5.5. No, this is 5.5 still. I apologize. It's the best number. I was like, what the hell? Still at plus 106. Other books have moved to laying juice. That's what I meant. So Jimmy Butler under 5.5 for Wednesday's game. And also, because I know you're not going to be here for either of these games, so we want to talk about them.
Yep.
The PRA is actually technically a better play. I just like the assist better. I'm going to go under 40.5 PRA. Look, we'll give Boston some benefit of the doubt here that they're going to have a plan. As much as I tried to because it missed all over Joe Mazzulla, they had a stupendous plan against Joel Embiid. It's just Joel Embiid had nothing to fight back with. Like, I think they're going to do okay against Jimmy Butler, where I don't think like, oh, he drops 40 and goes over this in one stat. Under 40.5 PRA, under 5.5 assists, both for Butler.
I'm here for it. I'm very here for it. This series is, I want to bet Boston 4-0.
Wow.
I want to bet Boston 4-0. I don't think Miami has a remote chance.
And you would think, and maybe it does take an injury, right? And their depth has certainly taken a hit because of Hero and what have you. But they're opening up as an 8-point favorite. I don't even know if they opened. It's 8 right now. And, you would think that at some point, it's not that Jimmy Butler's wearing down, but if anybody can get in front of a microphone following a loss and say, I need help, it's Jimmy Butler. Because you know he's going to put, like, couldn't you see that? Couldn't you see this team getting swept out of the building and Jimmy drops like 30 a night in 4 games and he's looking around like, dude, if you don't get me Embiid, I'm walking.
Yep. It's pretty live to happen. I mean, looking at the first, I'm betting Boston -8. I think that's pretty clear cut. I'm not even thinking twice about it. But as I said before, there's some kind of an arbitrage there that I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I think it's I can't imagine any scenarios barring injury where you don't get one of Tatum or Jimmy Butler winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Like, I just can't do it. So I think I'm going to try to arbitrage that and just avoid the Jaylen Brown nuke. I think we're pretty safe there, though, but I don't think that Miami has a remote chance in this series.
No, I'm with you. Butler assists is FanDuel as the PRA. Sorry, Joseph Morgan and anybody else out there. Dan Aykroyd is from Chicago. What are you talking about? Or at least like those accents were from Chicago. Wow, Vicky from Small Wonder, did she have a Chicago accent? Like Dan Aykroyd is in Blues Brothers, where it's all about Chicago.
Yep, there's that.
Yeah, I hope that was a compliment. I always
and then you have movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off where nobody has a Chicago accent, and it bugs me to no end. Who has a Chicago accent in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? They literally go to Wrigley Field,
right?
And not a single Midwestern accent to be found anywhere.
Yeah, that's brutal. That is just absolutely.
Think about it. It's absurd. You have a bunch of LA people going to Chicago, and that's what we had. That's the movie.
Yeah, highly overrated. I'm surprised they haven't.
I'm with you. I think it's a very overrated movie. I think it's actually kind of trash.
And you know what the problem? Like, I'll tell you this, at least Matthew Broderick is a very underrated actor. He just, I just don't think that movie was his best or really like up there in his best. I think clearly the cult classic, all the other things boosted it, right? Because it was his breakout, what have you. But if you look at, all right, well, give me your top 3 Broderick movies of all time.
Producers has to be one.
Producers was 2005. That's a little, that's a little later in there. You've got to go War Games. You have to go War Games. He was
War Games could go top 3. But yeah, Producers is his best acting period. He also was the music man on an NBC special back in the day that was phenomenal. He was phenomenal in it. He was the only good part of it, actually.
So I'll give you 2 movies where he was. So I think part of being an actor, actress, what have you, that stands out in a movie with other, including Stronger, is knowing how to kind of ride. Like Leo did that in Gangs of New York because he had no choice with your guy. I drink it up, right? Like he had to. But the thing about this with Broderick is that the nature of how he is kind of as an actor allowed him to not take a back seat, but flow. So Biloxi Blues and Lady Hawk, 2 completely different movies. But if you look at least Lady Hawk, where you had a dominant Rutger Hauer in that, right? Like Rutger Hauer is just like fucking Rutger Hauer, right? And then, here's little Matthew Broderick, but they played off each other. And then you had Biloxi Blues, where it's, Walken, Christopher freaking Walken. And the 2 of them were just dominant. So I would put a combo of that in there.
I like it.
Okay.
You named a lot of people. I don't know who they are. I'm not going to lie to you.
You don't know who Rutger Hauer is?
I don't have any idea who that is.
You don't know who Christopher Walken is?
I obviously know who that is, but you said somebody else there in the middle of it too. That was like, I could not identify them in a lineup of 2 people.
Biloxi Blues is a top 5 Walken movie, I'd argue. Like I would take
no idea.
Biloxi Blues at number 5 for Christopher Walken. And then
Catch Me If You Can is the best Christopher Walken movie that I've seen. Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks.
Okay, I'll give you that, but you
great.
You have to put King of New York in there.
Yep, King of New York. Fair. His best performance though is probably, what's the one where he has the metal monologue, the Quentin Tarantino? Not Reservoir Dogs, the other one.
It's the True
Pulp
Love.
Fiction, right?
Pulp Fiction and True Romance. No, he's not in.
Yeah, it's Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah, we've had this conversation. It's Pulp Fiction. I can do without Pulp Fiction. If I never see Pulp Fiction again, who cares?
See, that's where we differ. Quentin
Tarantino. Is there an original thought that's going to come out, or is he just
Kill Bill Volume 2 is as original as it gets? Stop it.
It's like M. Night Shyamalan.
You put your hate. Oh, stop!
Guys, just ripping shit off left and right.
Get out of here! Don't make me leave the program.
Let's build a parlay.
M. Night Shyamalan and Quentin. Stop it.
Let's go. Where do you want to go? DraftKings or FanDuel? I think either one will work right now. Let's go to FanDuel. Okay, let's go to FanDuel. Now, we're not going to play anything tomorrow because this has to hit today.
Okay, so we're playing MLB and NHL?
Correct.
Okay.
Let's get rid of everything and just to see what Eric says about this, Mike. We're on the Parlay Builder. This is part of what you get. This is the best thing. You're not going to stop betting parlays. We know that. That's why we've created a Parlay Builder for you to give you plus EV legs. Meaning if you have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 leg parlay, if all of the legs are plus EV, the parlay's plus EV. If one isn't, then you're screwed. Syndergaard. It's plus 104 to go under 3.5 Ks against your Minnesota Twins tonight.
I'm going to the game.
At home.
Did nobody cares? I'm going to the game tonight. No big deal.
Oh, look at you.
Got a box suite. It's no big deal.
Oh, nice. That is a big deal.
It's kind of fun.
So we have a 50% chance of this hitting, and you're getting plus 104 back. So that's a little bit of a gap.
Yep.
Do you like this? We're not stuck to this. We're not married to this. We're going to build a 4-leg parlay, you and I, on FanDuel. I'm just curious if you like this play. If not, then we're going to have something from this game since you're going to be there.
Yes. I love the under of 3.5 for him. He sucks. He's so terrible. He is so bad now. I've felt this way for a long time. One of the most profitable things for me 2 years ago was just every time Noah Syndergaard was on the mound, you just take stolen base props. You just take every single one. And now it's like amplified. And we haven't even seen it completely bite him in the ass yet. But my God, Noah Syndergaard is going to give up a zillion stolen bases if he continues on this pace right now with the new rules. It's inevitably going to happen at some point. Now, Will Smith, one of the better catchers in all of baseball, that's useful. Austin Barnes, not exactly a bad defensive backup either, but we haven't seen it to a crazy extent yet. But he's still given up 9 stolen bases in 7 starts. That's a lot when you think about Major League. More than 1 per game. That's a ton of stolen bases against you.
So that's enough to get him chased early.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not going to K anybody either.
No, he sure isn't.
Okay. Well, look, we start off with a nice play at plus 104, which means that we can kind of take a breather. The lone NHL play that I see in my vision here would be Roop Hintz. Are you familiar with Hintz?
Yeah, for Dallas. Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah.
You Hintz.
What are you going to be, Pharaoh Monch here? You know the name. Dun, 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 dun. No, not again. Simon Says.
Nope, I'm stupid. I don't know.
Get the bleep
over 2.5 though is really popping. I just pulled it up here. You are in the great state of. We're going to Pennsylvania. There it is. Finally.
No, it's fine. Whatever. So we've got Syndergaard under 3.5 Ks. Hintz over 2.5.
Can he take a Hintz and go over for us? You
just ruined it.
I know.
I can't believe nobody else got that either. Jeez. Normally, if I bring something up, you don't get it. There are a couple of people like, where's the news god on that one? All right. I give you some Monch and I get nothing. It's just crickets out there.
Jeez. Little cricket action. It's fine.
Mike, you're with us. You don't count. Like you're going to either rip me or back me. Like, you're part of our crew. So it's the 3 of us versus the world. Look at that. See, I'm behind. You did get it. Internal Affairs too. You even got the right album.
Threw it up there. My God, he got the right album.
All right. So that's 2. We need 2 more.
I'm looking at Anthony. Well, yeah, because we're not going to do anything for tomorrow. That's for sure.
Shohei or Grayson.
Shohei is such a smash. This is such a smash. 6.5. I get it's juiced massively. Minus 156. This is such a dumb line. I know our guy News God, he all day he was asking me K ladder, and I said I gave him my blessing, and then he just kept asking. I was like, News God, I promise you did the right thing. I'm happy to be K laddering him up. I'm going to be having my MLB betting card coming out here. I am definitely on board with this K ladder. I generally have had I've had the Midas touch. Just everything I turn goes to stone, not gold. Just awful whenever I bet K ladders this year, but I'm back on it. So Shohei Ohtani up to 10 is where I ended up landing on it. I am very here for it.
Ohtani. All right. So that leaves
PrizePicks also has a 5.5 pitcher strikeout for him. It's only available for the next 13 minutes though. So you want to jump in now.
Yeah, you definitely want to get in on that. Wow. That's not lasting.
Nope.
Okay. So if you look at what's left, unfortunately, we are going to have to play something for tomorrow, which is great because this is going to be a carryover because all three of these are going to hit. And then the rest of you out there are going to sweat like us.
Sweat.
So now we can get AD in there at over 22.5.
Let's go, Daddy.
Or Jokic. It's basically
GoDaddy.com. Let's go.
No, I think we do AD.
Yep,
actually, hold on. Well, what do you like better? Do you like the AD or the Butler better? But I love this Butler prop, but I'm not waiting 2 days to cash a ticket.
Yeah, no, let's go AD.
All right. So just because of our impatience?
Yep. Absolutely. We are not okay people. We can always bet Jimmy Butler again on Wednesday. Why not?
Very true, my friend.
It's not like we're excluding ourselves from this bet. You can always make another bet. You can't always make the bet you want.
All right. We are set there. Let me put this in there. Why don't you look at some PrizePicks opportunities for us, man?
Yes, sir.
You've already posted a PrizePicks card, did you not?
I have.
You did?
I did. I'm a good person today. Doing all the good people things.
Can I put a horse at Parks in our community parlay, or does a DK not transfer over to DK horse? Like I can't add a horse, right? Into our community.
Put a freaking horse on no, you can't put a horse on the community parlay. Do you know how horse betting works? You don't know what the odds are going to be. They can't do a parlay with a horse.
I do right now.
Talking about you can't do a parlay with a horse.
I got him right here.
You could do a parlay, you could do a trifecta, you could do a superfecta. You don't, Eytan.
I'm putting
a horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse.
Don't do it.
Is the famous Mr. Edo. Let's go.
Oh, we got a 25%. Hold on a second. We have a 25% profit boost in the NHL. We have a 50% profit boost in baseball. We ain't getting out of here until we're doing that, both of that tonight on FanDuel. With that said, what do you have for PrizePicks that you see on our tool? This is the tool. All of these are available to you. We'll give you the week free. All you need to do is sign up below. It'll take you 60 seconds to sign up. You have a week free. You don't like it, leave. If you like it, great. If you have any questions, clearly the two of us are accessible. Twitter, here, Discord, what have you. Chalkboard is free. So. Trust me, there is nothing Luffy would rather do than spend time in the afternoon specifically with you out there answering questions. It's like he has a 6-hour open office every single day at Chalkboard. So have at it if you have any questions. All right.
This is very true.
It is.
Yes.
He loves the open office. He's got an open door policy.
Needs it.
Tell him Large March.
It's like in high school. It's like in high school when your parents got to keep the door open. Don't you keep the door open? Okay. I promise we're not doing anything. We're just watching Fast and the Furious 2. 20 years later. Still going through Fast and the Furious movies for makeout sessions.
A little bit.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
So what do you have tonight for us as I put this parlay in real quick?
All right. So first thing you're doing, Shohei Ohtani, you have 10 more minutes to get that over 5.5 pitcher strikeout more on that. Fire it up. The other thing that I'm a little bit surprised by, I don't know why nobody's reacting to the weather in Boston right now. I had to go on windfinder.com to double check my work. Just because I think projections are kind of incorrect all over the place, especially over here at PrizePicks. Rafael Devers, 1.5 total bases, or my preferred one, hitter fantasy score. I just don't see any way that this game doesn't completely shoot out here in Boston. And the wind is blowing out 15 to 20, dead right field. Now, not towards pesky pole right field, but like to the middle of right field. I don't think people understand. Pesky pole exists. But right field is really deep in Boston at Fenway. It's one of the harder ballparks for lefties, even though you saw David Ortiz blasted out of there for years. It's one of those harder ballparks to be able to turn and hit it out to dead right center, or to right center in general, to the bullpen. And yet it's blowing 20, up to 20 miles per hour going out there. And George Kirby, he has just a 20% K rate. Tanner Houck, 20.6% on the season. Neither of these guys are going to miss that many bats. And you get the ball airborne in this kind of win in Fenway. We've seen a lot of shootout games in this type of scenario. So I have my biggest play of the day and what will be in the community parlay on the over of that game. And then I am looking at hitter fantasy score for as many pieces of it as I can grab. I'm taking Jared Kelnick. I'm taking Julio Rodriguez. I'm taking Ty France. I'm taking all of these guys and I'm jamming them together in multiple cards.
Awesome. That's a great strategy too, especially if you're working in the Shohei. We're 8 minutes to go?
Yep.
That's insane right there. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, and it's correlated. That's the other thing that's nice. You start playing these 5-6 flex plays. One of the things the PrizePicks Parlay Builder teaches you is 5 and 6 plays are better than 3 and 4 when it comes to the flex options on PrizePicks. You're getting one automatic, basically like next to free square. Like Shohei Ohtani 5.5 for an adjusted pitcher strikeouts is like minus 300 basically anywhere you look. That's like a free square basically that we're throwing in on PrizePicks, as close to it as you're going to find other than free squares. But I'm feeling pretty good about that one being a piece that you could just play with one thing and just try to double your money there. Or you just throw it as the freebie in with 4 correlated plays from the same game. You could 10x it. And then I love James Outman, which is something that's at the top of the PrizePicks parlay builder today. James Outman over 0.5 total bases. And I went through this on my Twitter pretty in depth, just talking through this play. So you can go follow me at Eric Lindquist. Go follow Mr. Eytan Shander, his Shander Show over on Twitter as well. But James Outman, he's in the 6 hole. You have protection there in Betts, Freeman, Smith, Muncy, Martinez. Everything looks good. He had a 292 batting average at AAA. I expect his 250 average against right-handed pitching to go up. And as good as Pablo Lopez has been, look at this schedule. Yeah. White Sox twice, Royals twice, Nationals once, Miami in Miami once, and the Yankees with everybody out. Those are 7 of his 8 starts. He has played nobody. Now he's playing a team that is the second best WRC plus in baseball at 119. Oh boy. I thought I was going to be just locking and loading Minnesota big time. I have a little bit of apprehension now coming into it. I have a half unit play on it for today. That'll be on the betting card for everybody there. So don't go completely berserk with Minnesota money line, but I still like it. I think getting plus money there is a great thing. But James Outman over 0.5 total bases is a smash.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. Look at that. We got in, we got out. We got a bunch of stuff. There's some home run things we got to do. Maybe on the way out. But looking at who's going to hit this thing. And we have it in. All right. So this is an impartial. We had Mike, the impartial judge, throw a name so long as it matched up with our Discord and the YouTube. And it looks like Curtis Bartholomew is our winner. All right.
Let's go.
Kurt, I'll hit you up on the Discord. I got you. Kurt Bartholomew. Look, as long as I'm on this show, we're going to do this. I'm in for Lofty, I guess, tomorrow. I'm back on Wednesday. So long as we have an early baseball game in the 4 o'clock hour, I'm going to do this. If the ticket hits, somebody's going to win. Easy stuff, right? We just want you to be a part of what's happening across the board. All right, community parlay, my friend. Why don't you, if you want, can't do any hockey. Dallas Stars money line minus 190 has been taken. Ooh. And no horses for me.
Shucky darn, I don't get to take the play I was never going to take in a million years anyway.
Well, you're going to have to do something. It doesn't matter so much to me. Come sweat with me. Come sweat with me. What do you want to do?
I don't know, but you as Sinatra is just so soothing. Thank you for that.
Come sweat with me. You got to sound a little looser. Come sweat with me. All right, go ahead. What do you got? Dallas money line. Do you not come prepared with a play?
I already told you what it is. You didn't listen to me earlier.
I didn't.
What do you think it is?
What do you mean?
I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over on this Fenway Park bonanza that is about to occur.
Okay. I'm going to go over 24.5 games Ja Morant suspended. No, which is actually a bettable. You can bet that on the global market. You can't bet it where we are, but you can. Okay. Okay.
You're going to vote for president in 2024 while you're at it?
No, but I am voting for Doc Rivers to get his ass canned.
All right, cool. Well, anyway, Seattle and Boston. Which book are we at, my friends? DraftKings? -105. There it is. Yeah, I'm inside of standard juice for you too. This line is broken. I'm telling you. If I don't misread winfinder.com. I use it all the time for PGA. I use it all the time when I look at Wrigley Field and other ballparks. I'm going way over 10. Way over 10.
I'll leave you with this. Jake, not Hank. I don't want anybody out there calling him Hank. Jake Fraley over 1.5 total bags.
Oh my.
Total bags at even money. All right. Hey, this
Connor Siebold season.
Total bag. He's a total bag type of guy. And we're going over 1.5.
I love it.
All right. Harambe's got the under on that game. Come sweat with me. Say anything you want. I'm out of here. Oh, jeez. Come on, Lawrence. I got shit to do. I got a kid upstairs. I got a wife who's pregnant. I got feet that have swollen up. They may even be mine. Hank Fraley. Remember him? Eagles center. He dimed out Donovan McNabb for throwing up in the Super Bowl. Allegedly. 482. 482, right? Because of the community. Look at that. 3 legs should be 500 minimum or it doesn't count.
You sick folk. You sick people.
Look, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Shame to your household. It's okay. I love you all. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's always fun to be able to do these shows and talk through plays. And
can you give me a doc on your way out?
What's up, Doc?
No, not an impersonation. I just need like this. Can you give me one of these stairs? Like how I was describing the garbage plate. Is how Doc Rivers. We'll see it.
I started watering.